Her husband had just left for work when she heard someone banging at the door. Ajoke went to check, and to her dismay, it was one of her two friends, Atom and Chinelo. Chinelo walked past her without greeting. She looked furious. Atom came in with her. "Ajoke, I cannot believe you could do this to me," Chinelo screamed. Ajoke was completely lost. Atom and Chinelo were her neighbors and friends. Atom was a calmer one, while Chinelo was a walking time bomb that was always ready to explode. She never provoked anyone first, but she would never run away from a fight. Once upon a time, there lived a couple named Kunle and Bimbo in the town of Lagos in Nigeria. They had married for many years with no children. And on the 6th year of their marriage, Bimbo bore her first child. Kunle named his first daughter Ajoke. Ajoke was a calm and peaceful baby. The next year, Kunle's wife bore him another daughter, and he named her Ayanfe. Ayanfe was the apple of her father's eyes. From birth, she was born with beautiful hazel eyes. She grew up to be very beautiful with a very beautiful caramel skin. Kunle loved Ajoke, but his bond with Ayanfe was special. Anything Ayanfe wanted, Ayanfe would get. Sometimes it was even before she asked. Ajoke, on the other hand, was level-headed and ambitious. She thrived for her father's attention. She wanted her father to shower her with the attention that he showered on her sister Ayanfe. She made sure she had good grades in school. She would help out with house chores. She would do anything to gain her father's admiration, but Kunle just never noticed her efforts. Slowly, Ayanfe grew to notice the hold she had on her father. At first, she started by making outrageous demands, and when Kunle, her father, met them, she graduated into other things. She would purposely pick fights with her sister Ajoke, and often amused Ayanfe the way her father took her side. Ayanfe started slowly to manipulate her father. When Bimbo, their mother, noticed this devious side of her daughter, she mentioned it to Kunle. "My husband," she said to Kunle one evening when they were alone in their room, "I was a bit surprised at what you did this evening. I am trying to understand why you didn't insist that Ayanfe should apologize to Ajoke." Ayanfe misplaced her elder sister's mathematical set, and that resulted in Ajoke missing her mathematical test. Ayanfe has misplaced 3 of Ajoke's mathematical set this month. That girl is getting too careless, Bimbo said. "My wife, Ajoke can be too emotional. The teacher would definitely give her a makeup test. Should I kill Ayanfe because of mathematical set? Teach Ajoke to be more accommodating. Ayanfe is her younger sister and her only sibling," Kunle said, ending the conversation. Ayanfe grew up into a very entitled and manipulative young lady. She was undoubtedly a beautiful lady. All through her high school days, Ayanfe was feared by young girls in her school for her unique physical strength and her feminine charm. If Ayanfe wanted your boyfriend, he was as good as hers. She had her way with men. At first, the girls would fight Ayanfe, but Ayanfe was stronger. She would beat the girls blue and black. Once she noticed that the girlfriend of the boy she was dating had lost interest in the boy, she would quickly dump him. She would move on to the next conquest. One day, Ajoke asked her sister why she couldn't get her own boyfriend. Ayanfe simply told her sister that it was boring dating a single guy. Ayanfe enjoyed when other girls would beg her to leave their boyfriends. She enjoyed it even more when they confronted her. She took great pleasure in beating the girls. During Ajoke's final year in the university, a lady came to the house to see her. She cried bitterly and pleaded with Ajoke to help her beg Ayanfe. Ajoke knew immediately what the problem was, but she still asked the lady, "What exactly is going on between you and my sister? What is the problem?" Ajoke asked the lady that was crying. The lady recounted her sad ordeal to Ajoke. She told Ajoke that her wedding that was to take place in 1 month's time had been called off by her fiancé. The lady told Ajoke that her sister has now moved into her fiancé's home. The lady begged her to plead with Ayanfe to leave her man for her because she was pregnant for him. Ajoke was getting terrified at how mean her sister was to other people. When Ajoke confronted her, Ayanfe simply told her that no man can be snatched. "He is not a property, Ajoke. A man left her for me and she came here to cry to you." "For you to do what? Make me leave the man?" Ayanfe asked. "Please, Ayanfe, just leave this one. You have other men that are begging for your attention. She is pregnant for him," Ajoke pleaded. "How does that affect me?" Ayanfe said before walking away from her sister. Because of her sister's lifestyle, Ajoke kept her own relationship a secret. She made sure her fiancé's path and that of her sister never crossed until it was time for her wedding. Ajoke's husband, Benga, was a petroleum engineer that lived in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. He was handsome and very serious-minded. They had courted for about a year before Benga proposed. After the wedding, Ajoke moved from Lagos to Port Harcourt to be with her husband. She had concluded her mandatory 1-year youth service and had settled into married life. Few months after her wedding, Ayanfe called her sister and told her that she had been posted to Port Harcourt for her youth service. Ajoke panicked. She thought she was finally free of Ayanfe and her chaotic life. She had never told her husband about her sister's attitude of snatching people's men. She just didn't want her husband to think lowly of her or her family. And so she suffered in silence, praying that her sister would be posted far away from where she was living. She woke up one morning to her father's call. "Ajoke, why haven't you gone to pick up your sister from camp? Should she be stranded when you're living in that same state?" Before Ajoke could say a word, her father ordered her, "Go and pick her up at the orientation camp immediately," her father said, and ended the call. Ajoke got up and prepared to drive to the camp to pick up Ayanfe. Ayanfe came back with her and settled in. Everything was going smoothly until Ajoke had to travel to Lagos for a job interview. The trip to Lagos was smooth, but the flight back was rescheduled because of bad weather. 2 days after, Ajoke was able to come back to Port Harcourt. A month after, Ajoke got another mail that she had gotten the job. She was demanded to travel back to Lagos for documentation and training that would take a period of 3 months. Ajoke became worried. She just didn't feel right leaving her husband alone with her sister Ayanfe. Ajoke summed up courage and spoke to her sister Ayanfe, pleading with her to move to the Corper's Lodge, which was close to Ayanfe's place of primary assignment. She tried to reason with Ayanfe that 3 months was a long time and she wasn't comfortable with her and her husband staying alone in the house while she was gone. Ayanfe simply told her that she was going to leave, but not long after they spoke, their father called Ajoke. "What is going on between you and your sister?" he asked. Before Ajoke could respond, Kunle warned his daughter seriously, Don't you dare send your sister out of that house. What would your sister want with your husband? Do you know the type of man she's going to marry? If your sister leaves that house, consider me dead to you, Kunle said to his daughter. Gbenga, Bimbo's husband, was on the fence. He didn't care if Ajoke stayed or if she left to the Copper's Lodge. Ajoke went ahead with her documentation and training and finally came back to her home after 3 months. Everything seemed normal until one fateful morning. Her husband and Ayanfe had gone to work when Ajoke heard someone banging at the door. Ajoke went to check, and to her dismay, it was 2 of her friends, Atom and Chinelo. Chinelo walked past her without greeting. She looked furious. Atom came in with her. "Ajoke, I cannot believe you could do this to me," Chinelo screamed. Ajoke was completely lost. Atom and Chinelo were her neighbors and friends. Atom was a calmer one, while Chinelo was a walking time bomb that was always ready to explode. She never provoked anyone first, but she would never run away from a fight. She was someone you would rather have as an ally than an enemy. The things she had heard about Chinelo often scared Ajoke. She was a kind friend, but a vicious enemy. They were both married to highly successful men, but Chinelo and Atom both had one problem. They both desperately needed male children. Chinelo had 4 girls while Atom had 3 girls. They had both confided in Ajoke about their desire for a son. "Ajoke, did you send your sister to snatch my husband from me? Is that why you came with her to my house for my husband's birthday party? How could you?" Chinelo screamed. "Chinelo, I am confused here. Calm down and explain to me what is going on," Ajoke pleaded. "Ajoke, your sister is pregnant and she says our husbands are responsible," Atom explained calmly. Ajoke suddenly felt dizzy. Ayanfe had brought her bad lifestyle into her home. "Look, you know what I am capable of," Chinelo said to Ajoke. "I have been with that man right from high school and we have been married for 10 years. Talk to your sister," Chinelo said and walked out. "I have no hand in this," Ajoke said to Atom, but her friend followed Chinelo out without saying a word to Ajoke. Ajoke paced back and forth in her living room. She couldn't wait for her sister to come back and explain herself. For once, she was afraid for her sister. She couldn't believe the mess Ayanfe had created in just a short time. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe for the concluding part of the story. What do you think will become of Ayanfe, Ajoke, and the 2 women? Leave your comments in the comment section. I would love to hear what you think of this story so far. Thank you so much for watching. See you in part 2, where things get even more heated.